Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly honored to be speaking here tonight before a distinguished group of individuals such as yourselves, invited by an organization with such a noble mission. I'm incredibly relieved to have made it here tonight. That's not a reference to rush hour traffic. It has very little to do with the fact that I had to breathe into a paper bag to make it up here this evening. No, I'm relieved because it's almost 17 years to the day that the acts of a naive 16-year-old version of me, an archaic judicial system, a hamstrung superior court judge, warranted a prison sentence that exceeded the time I had been alive. I certainly knew right from wrong, but I could hardly employ the problem decision-making skills. I was incapable of exercising the foresight, and I gave little to no thought as to the possible consequences to my actions. I was taken from home, my family and friends, and the institutions meant to socialize us all. And instead, I was left to emulate the lives of men who cycle and recycle through our correctional system. Luckily, I had the strong support of my family. Nick Turner actually, in his incredible opening, acknowledges my mother for being that person who stood by me, was steadfast, was my rock, and was just FaceTiming with me, wishing me a good speech, wishing me luck. But I was incredibly optimistic that my story wouldn't end in a cell. However, I was lacking the direction. I soon viewed education as the tool that would carve my path. Early on, I took to my studies. I earned my high school diploma. I followed that by enrolling in vocational programs. I earned some technical skills. I participated in therapeutic and behavioral modification programs, trying to gain insight on who I was supposed to be, and how I had wound up in such a wretched place. I witnessed how my incarceration took an emotional toll on my family, and I loathed the idea of also becoming that financial burden. And so I worked a job detail, earning a mere $3 a day. And this is the part of my life where you press the repeat button, because for years, nothing changed. I woke up to face the same cinder block every day, the same correctional officers counting my body, the same hot dogs on Mondays, the same fish patty on Fridays, the same chicken on Sunday. And even the soundtrack to my life was dictated by a few record executives that paid the stations to play the same 5 songs continuously in loops. I was Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. But one day, that routine was shattered. I was notified of a group of individuals who wanted to meet me. Well, me and about 100 other incarcerated individuals. This group was so inspirational. They spoke so passionately about higher education in prisons and how they would love to afford me the opportunity to earn my college degree. Now, college was something I was supposed to do at a high school. It had since been added to the list of experiences that passed me by. But it wasn't the case. Of course, I relished the idea of earning a college degree. After all, I wanted to do the time. I didn't want it to be the other way around, where the time did me in. And I knew that education was perhaps the only way that I could mitigate the stigma of being incarcerated. With the guidance of the Vera Institute, a collection of colleges and universities formed the New Jersey Scholarship and Transformative Education in Prison Consortium, or NJ-STEP. Along the way, I learned the individual philanthropists, the organizations, the agents of change investing in my future. And it's so fitting because perhaps some of you are here tonight. In fact, you guys are here tonight because I had the pleasure of meeting a number of you. Within the bowels of Rahway State Prison, a relic and the epitome of a decaying penal system, something had begun to grow. Conversations transitioned seamlessly between sports and literature, music and history, our stock lives and that of philosophy's examined one. We walked through corridors with newfound dignity, and to our surprise, prison staff showed us a new level of respect. We knew we were fortunate. The sacrifices that NJ STEP staff made did not go unnoticed. So not only did we strive to be worthy of our help, but we also worked to pay it forward. And we built libraries. We organized tutoring sessions. We started studying with the students had yet to make it to our program and were still trying to earn their GEDs. By that time, I had established myself as a diligent student. I earned a perfect grade point average. Our programs director, thank you so much. Thank you. Our programs director, Chris Agins, who, yes, he's right here joining me this evening, with one of our premier graduates, Ivelisse Galestra, at his side. Chris would visit me while I was incarcerated to audit my transcripts, to discuss the selection of a campus and of a major, and to assist with the university's application process. There we were, planning my academic future outside of the walls, while I still resided within them. The life that I believed had passed me by was now a foregone conclusion. And the day of my release, I was in class at 10 a.m. I'm currently a marketing major in the Rutgers Business School. I am anticipating my graduation this year. And truth be told, because of the sheer volume of courses I took while in prison, when I graduate, I will have accrued enough credits to earn 3 degrees. I credit my family, my peers, the university staff and faculty, the NJ STEP staff, the Vera Institute of Justice, and the philanthropic donors who are compelled to right the wrongs of a system. I've been granted the gift of a quality education, and through that build self-esteem and humility, direction and purpose, a new perspective and a chance of accomplishing my dreams. Unless you think that I'm some exception to the rule, some anomaly, someone who lucked up, who bucked the trend, the margin of error in every prison statistic you've ever read, I'll have you know that there are dozens of us graduating after incarceration, hundreds of incarcerated students striving to earn their degrees through NJ STEP, and thousands more across the country yearning for the opportunity that you can provide them. And that's why I'm relieved to have made it tonight. I wasn't supposed to, but I stand here before you, thanking you on my behalf and on behalf of my brothers and sisters inside who couldn't make it this evening. Thank you.